Hey friends, and welcome back to my art studio. So today we're going to do something fun. We are going to be doing Create This Book. Now I know that this doesn't look like Create This Book because I painted over the cover with acrylic paint, but I think that it looks really cute. I really love this style. This is one of my favorite things to do. Like to paint is to just like do these blobs and then do lots of fun black work on top of it. So I really like it. I haven't seen anyone else actually paint over the Create This Book 2 thing that's usually on the front, but Mariah always says to do what you want because it's your book, so that's what I did. But I didn't do the spine, so you can see that it is Create This Book 2. I didn't do the back, I only did the front. And so what we're going to do today is we are going to be doing a page out of this book, but I thought since I just recently started doing videos that I could just do a quick flip through and show you all of the pages that I've already done. So that's what we're going to start with. So the first page I did was just this cover. I used my alcoholic like Ohu markers and did this design, and then I colored in the Create This Book 2 and I put my name on it. I think that it's really pretty and amazing. Then on the next it just says fill this empty page, so I used my zodiac sign, which is Sagittarius, and I did like a cool hashtag Sag, the little symbol, and then the constellation, and then I just made this cute little like rocket ship thing to go along with it. And I think that this actually had some like rules or something, like a little note before you get started. I just covered that up and I just Mod Podged all of this stuff in. And then I didn't do anything on tips and tricks yet. So I actually started the book on August 14th, 2019. But I wasn't making videos at the time, and that's why I didn't record any of this, but I will be recording from now on. So my goals were to not go in order because I have the tendency of wanting to do everything very organized, and so I made a rule not to like do it page by page and just have fun with it. I wanted to date every page just so I can remember when I did it, and then have fun because it is a stress-free zone. Those were my rules. Then this was one of the pages that I did, and the prompt was create confetti. I had trouble with this page. At first I did the elephant and stuff on behind this piece of paper. I hated the way it turned out, so I redid it on another piece of paper, and I really liked the elephant and how the confetti came out. The idea was for the confetti to come out of his trunk and be falling on him and all over this black page. Like I wanted the confetti to just fall down it. I can't remember exactly why this didn't work out, but it didn't because I pulled it all off and I never fixed it. So maybe we'll reevaluate this one day because it says create confetti and I only created like the littlest amount of confetti on that page because I wanted it to just like, I wanted it to look like the elephant was just like, you know what I'm saying, right? Like just making it explode over here. So that was my idea. And ended up just Mod Podging this over the one that I messed up, and it was just like a whole ordeal. I actually did this on 8/15/19, so it was a while ago. I think this was like the very first page that I did. I think I did the elephant before I did like that. I'm pretty sure. So anyway, the next page that I did was use colors that you love on this page and colors that you dislike on this page. So colors that I love are pink and yellow. Those are my top two favorite colors. So I did a little piggy and did it in my colors, and then I did a koala bear for the ones that I dislike, just because like I'm not a big fan of like the neutral colors like black and browns and grays. Like I always am gonna gravitate towards like brighter colors, so I just used the neutrals for that. But I think the koala and the figure is so cute that they need names. So if you have any name ideas for the Mr. Koala and Piggy, comment down below. The next page that I did was create additions. This was just the page that came with circles already, and I just used acrylic paint and did this. Like I filled in every circle. I think I might have added a circle, maybe not. I can't remember exactly what it looked like before. But yeah, I just colored in each of the circles as planets, and ta-da, I mean, you get the gist, you're looking at it. That's basically what I did, and I just used acrylic paint. This actually feels like, the acrylic paint actually feels like really like rough, so I feel like I need to go over this with Mod Podge, but just to make it smoother and hopefully it wouldn't mess up. The next page that I did is something that I'm not necessarily very proud of. It's just the Create on Black page. I did this one more recently. I did this one on New Year's Eve with my little sister. She got some really cute gel pens for Christmas and we were playing around with them. And I mean, like, I don't hate the page, but I wasn't trying to make it anyway. I was just having fun and just experimenting with her gel pens. So, I mean, it's cute, but it's not my favorite page. The next page that I did was Create Reflection. Dedicate this page to your past self. Fill it with things you would have liked. And when I was a kid, I actually had teddy bears that looked exactly like this. Just like exactly like this. I used pictures of them as examples when I was drawing. And yeah, so it was definitely something that I liked when I was younger. And this page is my favorite one so far. I think that it's the cutest one that I've made. I love it. So my past self and my present self love this page. The next one that I did was create an alphabet. So what I did, and this has Mod Podge on it, so if it looks a little glossy, that's why. What I did was I took acrylic paint and I just painted it like the red orange ombre on the background, and then I used my marker paper and drew out each individual letter and colored it in with my Ohu markers, and then I cut them out and glued them on here. And then for like the O, I did a flower instead of like an O, and then like, you know, like the I has a flower. So I think this page turned out really cute. I had fun doing this page. And then the last page that I did was create an unexpected color. I love whales. If you haven't seen my recent video, you should check it out. But whales are one of my favorite animals, and these whales are orca whales, and they're usually just black and white. So I just used watercolor paper and watercolored an orca whale, so it is an unexpected color. And then I just glued this in. I will say the watercolor paper was so thick that it was hard to close, and it was kind of like messing up the page behind it. So I had to rip the page out after I had already glued it in, and then kind of like cut the page thickness in half and glue it back in. So I kind of like destroyed the page behind it. So whenever I do this page, I'm definitely going to have to like glue in a page, because as you can see, that's pretty, I don't know if you can see it actually, but it's like pretty messed up. But anyways, this page did turn out pretty cute and I'm pretty proud of it. And then that is all I've done so far. The page we are going to be doing today is pages 146 and 147. They say create a difference in altitude. On this page, display something you find underwater, and on this page, display something you have in the sky. So I went ahead and sketched out my design, and now I'm just getting out my microns and we're going to do an outline. So my idea for these pages is I really wanted them to like work well together. So the idea behind it is the window behind the fishbowl is actually the butterfly picture on the right. So like what's outside in the sky, you can see it through the window, but then there will also eventually be a fish in the bowl. It took me a minute to figure out like exactly what kind of fish and like the color palette, so I kind of just waited until the last minute to really like get into drawing the fish in the bowl, but there will be a fish in the fish bowl. So I'm just going in with my microns and doing little details like putting ribbons on the curtains and just doing little ruffles on the curtains and just making sure all those details are good. And then I was using this one little strip of paper to make sure all of my lines were straight when drawing. Then I move on to the butterfly picture, and this was the most fun part to me because doing black work and like detailing is my favorite part, and butterflies are so detailed and so much fun that outlining them and designing each one to be their own. I wanted each butterfly to have their own cute design and details and their own color palette, so this was definitely the most fun for me. The best thing about I'm doing all of this on marker paper, and the best thing about the microns is that they don't bleed with my alcoholic markers. So like I can go in and do as much black work and outlining as I want to before coloring, and it will not like move with my markers, and that's like my favorite thing. These are my Ohu markers. So I decided to get my black Ohu marker out and color in the bigger spots, and this was actually a big mistake because, as I said earlier, the micron markers don't move with my markers, so I didn't think to myself that coloring in these big spots with my Ohu marker would make it more difficult later when I'm coloring again, because Ohu markers, they're alcohol, and so they react with each other and they want to blend with each other. So when I'm coloring later, it, like, the black marker wants to move with it, and it kind of like just bleeds in places it doesn't need to bleed, but you'll see that in just a second. And then I decided that we needed one more butterfly, so I just added in one more small cute butterfly to fill in that gap. Then I just took the fishbowl side of the paper and added in all the butterflies and how their designs actually look. I just basically copied and pasted the right to the left in the window. Now it's time to finally draw the fish in the fishbowl. So I looked at a couple different kinds of fish, and I don't think this fish is actually found in the ocean and it's not something you can have as a pet, but I just thought it was so cute and like beautiful, and I didn't care that you couldn't have it as a pet because this is my universe. This is my Create This book, and I will have whatever pet I want. So I just drew this like angel rainbow fish thingy, and I think it's adorable. I'm gonna name him Larry. Larry the rainbow angel fish thingy. This sounds ridiculous. And now it's time to add color with my Ohu markers. As you can see, we have millions of colors, and I just take out my color reference sheet just because in a sea of color it gets all confusing. So I'm just kind of like thinking about the butterflies and comparing, and I decided to take my light blue marker and do the sky. As you can see, in some spots the black started to bleed onto the blue because it was like the Ohu black marker, but I just kept going over it and moving it around, and I don't think you can see it that bad in most places. So the first butterfly is gonna be a yellow. I just took like my bright yellow and my light yellow, and I'm just like ombreing them both ways. For the first butterfly, I did pinks. I did this like coral color, a very light nude pink, and then like a bubblegum pink, and I just ombreed and blended them all together. And then for the third butterfly, I did purple. I just did like a bright, a dark, and a very like pastel-y purple, and I just colored it and blended them together as well. And then for that one, I just did like a turquoise green, a turquoise tealish blue color, and a green. And then for the last butterfly, I just did orange, and I used a little bit of the yellow for blending. And then again, I just copied and pasted what I did on the butterfly page onto the background of the next page in the window, making sure each butterfly matches up to what it is so that it looks like an exact copy. And then it was time to color in the rainbow angel fish Larry. I really liked the idea of him being rainbow, so I just took out the colors of the rainbow and I just blended them together down all of his like fins. I was kind of avoiding coloring in the actual fish because I wasn't 100% sure what would look nice with the rainbow, but like I knew it needed to be a color. So I decided that I wanted to do pink. So I started with this like pastel-ish pink, and honestly it didn't look good because it looked more like a skin color than like, you know, a fish color. So I tried to do some like striped rainbow down the side to kind of like take away from that flesh color, but it just didn't look right. So I ended up coloring it more of the like bubblegum pink, and I think that it looked a lot better. And this was the hardest part of this whole thing, was deciding what color the water in the fish bowl should be, because I only have so many Ohu markers and a lot of my blues are very dark, but I didn't want the water in the sky to be the exact same color because I kind of thought that it would like get lost in the background, like with the window behind it. So I thought it was a good idea to use this very dark teal color, but I don't think that it looks right. I think that it just doesn't look good at all. Like I think it like pulls away from the fish. It's just too dark, basically. It's just way too dark. The fish gets lost in the water because it's too dark. I hated it, but I just kept going, and I colored in the curtains yellow, and I had to fight the urge to put a cute little like pattern on the curtains because I knew that if I did that it would just get way too busy. So I fought the urge and I did not put a crazy pattern on the curtains. The longer I stared at the dark blue, the more I hated it. So I took out some of my light blue acrylic paint and I just painted over it. Because after you lay down a color with alcoholic markers, you can't really lift it. So there was no going back. I couldn't lighten the color. So I ended up just taking my acrylic paint and painting all of it. And I liked it a lot better after that. Then I just took my glue stick and I got glue everywhere while gluing in my page. I put a paper underneath it so that my pages would get stuck together, but you know, sometimes it just still happens. The purple glue does dry clear, of course, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I just glued in the next page. And ta-da! This was create a difference in altitude. A cute little fishbowl with a bunch of butterflies. I'm really proud of this page. After fixing the color of the water in the fishbowl, I'm actually very proud of it. I think Larry is very cute. And I wish I could have him as an actual pet. I think the butterflies are definitely my favorite thing of this page that I did. Just coloring the details and all of it was a lot of fun, and I'm very proud of it. I think it turned out fantastic. I love doing Create This Book, and I will be doing more episodes exactly like this. Next time I'll be doing more than just one page in an episode, but since I did the flip through, I decided that I didn't want the video to be too long, so I just did one page. So next time I do a Create This Book, you can definitely count on being like a couple more pages. I post videos every single Saturday and sometimes on Wednesday, so make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Falling. Oh, I fall so hard.